Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy New Year. Literally, Happy New Year. It is January 1st, 2025, the first day of the new year. Welcome to the first annual Goal-A-Thon. I must say, let me start with a little mama speech. I must say, towards the end of planning this event, everything I had planned was like, okay, girl, you over you put too much on you bit off more than you can chew. But I'm here and I'm doing it anyway. Not perfect. So I want to give you guys just start it off. If you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you have a vision, do it now. Do it anyway. Do it scared. Do it unprepared. Get it done. You have to start. There is a quote, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start in order to be great. And so today is starting. All right. So with that said, we're going to get started. Let me pull up my first slide here. So welcome. This is our Goal Mastery Intensive. So a transformative full day deep dive into goal setting. And so I will be here with you guys all day. And you know that there is that let me see if I can minimize this and put me on there. There's that saying, you're gonna get sick of me? You're gonna be sick of me today. 12 hours. Grab your family, your friends, your spouse, your next door neighbors, grab your goals journal, and we're just gonna have a conversation. It's not gonna be that super conference type vibe. It's gonna be us working. So it's an all day workshop. You can come, you can go as you please. I'm gonna go over the topics that we're gonna discuss today. And just have your goals journals out, have your notebooks ready. I also designed some companion worksheets for every session, absolutely free. And so you have an opportunity there's no excuse this year to reach your goals in all 12 areas of your life, whether you have the funds or don't have the funds, because I have created this free video all day. And then I have companion worksheets that are absolutely free. And the other things, if you want to go deeper, that is a choice. So there's books, there's courses. We have a 1-year VIP program. But for today, if you want to reach your goals for 2025, everything that you need is going to be here today in this Goal-A-Thon. So again, welcome. What to expect today. Let me see if I can put myself on. What to expect today. So interactive workshops, deep dive sessions, Q&A. If you have questions either about goals that you have, resources that you need for those goals that you want to achieve, maybe some routines. I have been publishing the yearly goals journal for 13 years. And then this year it has a new name. It's a new baby. It's the Ultimate Goals Handbook. And so everything I'm going to be teaching today is based off of that book. Everything you need is in that handbook, from routines, book suggestions. There is a wheel of life, which is how I started my whole personal development process. So everything you need is in that book, What to Expect Today. So I am your host, Coach Sheréa VéJauan. And your girl, I got to figure out how to read these, to read my own slides. So I'm your host. I'm the co-founder of the Goal Setters Club, and I help individuals unlock their full potential by teaching them how to set and achieve intentional goals. And so I'm also the published author of over 11 books and journals, which is probably 13 now. They're all available on Amazon. And then I published the Goals magazine. So we have a new Goals magazine coming up this January, actually. And I'm trying to get myself on the camera as well. Sorry, you guys. So we have a new Goals magazine that's launching this January, I think January 18th. And I'm also a certified coach, trainer, speaker with the John C. Maxwell team. I'm also a DISC behavioral analyst, so I'm certified for that. So it's safe to say you're in the right place. I have some experience, mom of 3 adult children. My baby just got married this past weekend. Grandmother, brand new grandmother of beautiful Naomi, and then wife of 32 years. So I'm here to help you today, and I'm here to help you throughout the year. You know, there's a lot of people who are doing goal setting and doing vision boards December and January, you know, but I'm here all year. This is what I do. This is what I've dedicated my life to. Goal setting absolutely saved my life. So if you have the book and you read my story, it absolutely saved my life. So I'm here. So here's our event agenda. So let me blow this up a little bit. We're going to start at 7:30 with our year in review. So we're going to reflect on the past. I'm going to teach you 10 powerful ways to analyze your growth. From 8 to 8:30, we're going to lay the groundwork for success. From 8:30 to 9, we're going to talk about the before steps. And this is going to be a quick step. You know, I do a whole like hour, 2 hours on before the steps, but I'm going to give you like an overview. I'm designing your ideal life. We're going to go over your core identity, strategic goal setting, your 1-year, 5-year, 10-year plan. And then I'm going to talk about my 7 steps to reaching any goal. As long as it's smart and reasonable, I believe if you do these 7 steps, you can achieve any goal. From our afternoon session from 11:15 to 3, we're going to go over setting and achieving your goals using those 7 steps, which is health and fitness, relationship, finance, home goals, self-care, fun, personal development. And then our evening session is from 3 to 7, which is going to be career development, family time, your spiritual goals, your travel goals, your giving goals, building routines, and then vision board. I'm probably going to go over some just tips about the vision board. We won't be doing a vision board workshop. I will be doing a live vision board workshop on January 11th, so save the date for that. That will be free. And then we're going to celebrate and close. So all day, 7 to 7. And this event, let me get my tea. This event is about you. So even though I'm facilitating, this event is about you. It's about your goals. It's about your vision. It's about what you're planning for the new year. So we're going to have a meeting. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk about me a little bit. We're going to talk about my book a little bit. We're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about your goals. We're going to talk about your vision. We're going to talk about your purpose. And so I'm excited. Hey, Six Figure Cisco, welcome. Excited. Thank you for joining me on this day 1, January 1st. So it's going to be a long day. It's going to be an exciting day. The replays will be available, and it's going to be a conversation. This is one of my goals is to be more active on social media, also to share my expertise, and then to put 12 hours in. I've never done, a 12-hour day, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know why all right. So yes, this is a monumental occasion for me, you know, as we launch the first annual Goal-A-Thon. It's not just an event today, it's actually a movement. It's starting off here with me, by myself, teaching, putting it together. You know, I see this as an event in the future, you know, with guest speakers, maybe a live event. But this year we're getting started. So this is, you know, welcome to the building blocks of the Goal-A-Thon. So thank you for joining me. So imperfect, but impactful. Let's talk about that. I've never taught for 12 hours straight. I don't know what the tech is going to look like today, if they're going to kick me off or not kick me off. So I'm going to try to do it in increments where maybe we'll do the morning session and then log off and then log back in into the evening session. But what I do know, like I said before, I've published a goals journal for 13 years. I do goal setting workshops with my family every year. We do vision board parties every year, and just putting together those systems, even something that I'm going to explain to you in 5 minutes, we've probably been doing for years. The books that are in the back of your handbook, those of you who have the handbook, there's book lists. Those were specifically planned. I wasn't like, oh, let me throw some books in here in the back you can read. I have those books. I've read most of those books. If you come through my house, there's books all over. So now we're just taking it to the next level with the Goal-A-Thon. And I also want to encourage you, let's embrace imperfections. Let's dive into the process. I know we're all go, go, go. It's a new year. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Oh, wait a minute. I got to guess. Okay, Six Figure Cisco, you want to come up? Okay, I'm going to bring you up. Hold on. Let me see.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm excellent. I saw that you were doing this goal planning session today. Me and my wife were planning to do one today anyway, so it's perfect timing, and I'm
Good.
definitely excited for it.
What's your number one goal for 2025?
I have a lot of debt that I've
Mm-hmm.
accumulated, and my number one goal is to be debt free in 2025.
Okay, good job. Good job. Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much. Did you have anything you want to share with anyone today? Any wise wisdom for 2025?
Um, for 2025, my word for the year is courage.
Okay.
So I'll say for everyone, um, when you're approaching your goals, do so with courage and with faith. Faith that I'm a strong believer in God and in Christ. So faith that God can help you to get to your goals. And that's my wisdom.
All right. Thank you. You know what? Because we know each other personally and you told me that, I'm gonna text you and I want to get your address. I'm gonna send your wife something. I have
Oh,
something I think she would like. This is not a. It's the last minute. It's not a plug. And you know what? If it is a plug, so what? We've been doing that shameless plug stuff. We shouldn't be ashamed. We work hard. We work hard for our businesses. We work hard putting things together. But even when you're saying that, this is absolutely. I published this year. It's absolutely one of my favorite. It's Dream Big with God. It's a 30-day devotional. And it took
that's
me a
awesome.
long time. I started this probably like 4 years ago, but I was trying to write it with my daughter. But it was we just could not get the connection, or she felt like I was writing more than she was writing and she didn't want to put her name. So it was a
Hmm.
whole thing. But this is really good because, especially for us being ambitious, it kind of gives us that balance between what we want and what we plan, and then stand in line with what God has for us. So I'm gonna send you. I'm
Love
gonna
it.
send you one of those.
I
Okay.
love it. I will definitely. She's close by. I'll let her know that you're sending her this book, and we really
Okay.
appreciate
Let me write myself a little note. Well, thank you for joining me. Yeah, it's gonna be again all day. We're gonna go over 12 categories. We're gonna go over what I feel you should do before you start goals. So thanks for joining me. I'm excited.
it. All right, we're here for it.
All right, you guys. Let me finish with our overview. I think I went through our whole overview, and then we'll do our vision board and then our celebration and closing. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your patience. Okay, so checklist. Go ahead and grab your coffee, grab your notebook, invite your family members. Um, I'm drinking tea today. For those of you who know, I'm a coffee drinker, but I have my tea, I have my water, my supplement bottle from Black-owned company. All right, so it's time to get comfortable and dive in. Now, this was supposed to last until 7:30, so about 15 minutes ahead of schedule, but I'm going to go dive into the first session. So get ready for the Goal-A-Thon, and I will be ready for our next session, which is, I know it, but I just want to read it. year in review. So we're going to do our year in review. So give me a second to switch up the. All right. I feel so. I'm a John Maxwell coach, and I've been a John Maxwell coach for a few years now. And when he first brought up, let me see. When I first became a coach, there was in his book, I have it, 15. So in his book, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, there is a chapter, I believe it's chapter 4, and he talks about reflection. And I didn't have time for reflection, I'll be honest. That's like working out or like I felt like taking time to do things that weren't necessarily a task held me back. And we're not doing that in 2025, realizing that exercise is important, taking the time from your schedule or before you start your schedule to actually work out is vital. Reflection, I was like, I could bypass that. But after being a coach for so long and him being my mentor, I started reflecting, and it is a game changer. And so I would encourage you to take some time before. Now, we usually do this exercise in December, not January, but I want you to take some time to reflect on your past year, your wins, because we change. We don't want the same things that we want in 2025. I always encourage people not to take their goals from last year and whatever you didn't complete, put it on this year. Don't do that because you change. You want new things. If you've read the books, if you attended the conferences, if you met new people, you are probably not the same person. And so you want to take some time to reflect. Now, let me look at my notes. Reflection is important because you're understanding what worked and what didn't work. You're able to gain clarity on personal growth and achievement. You're using lessons learned to build better goals. You're celebrating your wins. When you celebrate your wins, that creates courage, just like Six Figure Cisco was saying earlier. It creates courage when you have wins. It creates gratitude. It helps with motivation when you reflect. What I really like, if you guys are on Facebook or if you had a Facebook account, it'll bring up memories. And I love the memories because sometimes you can also forget what you've done or forget what the memories that you had. And it's a good, sorry about that. So yeah, I like that. The Facebook, give me 1 second. All right. So, and this is why, I had created these slides and I started getting the slides and I said, you know what, I got to get rid of these slides because they're stopping me from what I really want to say. So I'm going to give you 10. So what we going to do, probably part 2, we're not going to do slides because slides is throwing a sister off. So I'm going to read something from the Ultimate Goals Handbook. Thank you guys for your patience. On page 45, those of you who have your journals, reflection is a powerful tool in goal setting, helping us evaluate progress, learn from experiences, and make necessary adjustments to our strategies. So in chapter 4 of the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, John Maxwell delves into the importance of reflection. Reflecting on the past year allows us to learn from both successes and challenges, celebrate accomplishments, and identify areas for growth. So, as John Maxwell emphasizes, growth doesn't happen by accident, it's intentional. Without pausing to reflect and analyze, we miss out on valuable lessons. Too often, we push forward out of habit, hesitant to truly reflect. But why should we reflect? Because reflection turns experiences into insight. And so before I read his book, as I said earlier, reflection was like exercise. It felt like a task. It felt like something I didn't have time to put into my calendar. And so now I've incorporated weekly reflections. At the end of the week, I'm reflecting, hey, how did that week go? What could I have done better? What did I learn last week? What do I want to change? How do I want to feel next week? How did I feel this week? And how do I want to feel next week? So I've incorporated weekly, daily, monthly, and especially yearly reflection. Reflection enables us to refocus on the big picture, clarify objectives, and examine outcomes, whether positive, neutral, or negative. And so sometimes we don't reflect because we don't want to remember. And our remembering of even our failures helps us to plan better for the future. So as you move forward, take time to reflect on your life and expectations. However, true reflection requires asking yourself the right questions in a quiet environment, and it can be transformative. So I would recommend, especially if you're working on your 2024 goals, you're working on, when you're working on your monthly goals, or you're working on, you reflect with yourself. And if you're working on things with your family, with your marriage, with your kids, you can go through some type of reflection exercise with them too. Hey, family, how did this year go? How did you feel? What do we want to change this year in our household? Let's see. So for me, like, I keep prayer journals. I have a bunch of prayer journals, and sometimes I'll go through my prayer journals from last year, and I can see what I've been praying for every day. And you can look at those things and say, hey, I'm tired of praying about that. This year is breakthrough year. So sometimes the reflection can let you know what you don't want. So as you reflect, document your insights, whether in a journal or a voice memo on your phone. This practice helps you track your growth. Another thing I incorporated yesterday, I put up a jar, and we had that before, but I put up a jar for the year so I can start documenting and recording our year, so we can go. That's going to be our new tradition. So on January 31st, we can go through that jar and see what we've accomplished. So every month or every day, when there's something like today's a good day. It's our first annual Goal-A-Thon. I'm going to put it in the jar so I can reflect on that. Let's see. Okay, so here are 10 ways to reflect on your achievements and lessons. 10 ways. List your wins. What were your accomplishments? What were your wins? What did you achieve? I had my list. I'll share it with you later. I had my list for. So some of my wins, I published 4 books in 2025. One second back. So I published 4 books in 2024. Sorry about that. And then I became a grandma. That was a win, even though it wasn't my personal win. It was a win. I left a job that I was at for 10 years. That was a win. I joined a new church in 2024. I made an investment, which was new for me. I made an investment in fan base. So I was excited about that. I completed 3 trademark applications, this one being one of them for the Goal-A-Thon. I hired an assistant. That was a win. And we joined school of ministry. Sometimes you forget. So another way you can list your wins, you can go through your phone, look at all your photos from January 2024 to December 2024, and get those photos, document those photos. What else? I think that was it. So those are most of my wins that I documented for 2024. And then identify your challenges. What were your lessons that you learned in 2024? Track your personal growth. How did you grow in 2024? I grew a lot. Through taking on coaching because I coach how I coach. But then when you coach in another group or you coach for someone else, um, that was just a whole growth process because you learn to do things how you do things and then adjust and maneuver on how things are done in that particular environment. So that was a big growth opportunity for me. Celebrate relationships. What relationships went well in 2024? What relationships could be better in 2025? Revisit your goals. I always, you'll read, if you have the handbook, you'll read how my daughter's goals changed from going to UCLA, becoming a WNBA player. And then there was a year where they both were like, okay, we're not doing that no more. We're tired of getting hurt. We're tired. Basketball is not where we want to go. And this is after being good. This is after winning championships. This is after getting championship rings. They decided we're not going to do that. And so revisiting your goals, revisiting who you are, and then evaluate your habits. What habits in 2024 were good habits? What habits were bad habits? What new habits do you need? So, and accessing your health. How was your health last year? My health was not that good. And it's interesting, we were looking at some of our past pictures of, I was always juicing. I was always having my green smoothie. I was always having my apple cider vinegar. I was always taking my herbal supplements. I was always drinking water. Even before I met my husband, I only drank water and grape juice. And so my health last year is not the health I had 5 years ago. And so when you look at your health, say, hey, what do I need to change? What do I need to adjust? Do I need to go back to something? Do I need to cut some things out? And then review your finances. Where were you at last year and where do you want to be this year? And then define your biggest takeaway. What was your biggest takeaway from 2024? One of my biggest takeaways, we'll talk about that later in one of our sessions as far as like core identity and your assessments and learning who you are. Me just being a natural introvert, pulling my energy from quiet time. My biggest takeaway was, yes, we need people. And I think I spent a lot of my life avoiding people. I'm not avoiding people because I love people. Maybe not a lot at one time. But I learned in 2024 that I need people. And I also learned that people need me. So it's easy to hide, in the background. So yeah, those are the 10. Go ahead and screenshot that. I do have a reflection activity for you. So you may not be able to do that in this session, but if you scan the QR code where it says companion worksheets for session 1, there is a worksheet for you. So you can print that out. You could do the activity. There's also a QR code if you want to get the Ultimate Goals Handbook. And then we have our 1-year success program. Yeah. So each of these sessions has a free companion worksheet that you can download. You can print them out. You can do it with your family. So if you say, hey, I want to do this reflection exercise with my spouse, or I want to do this reflection exercise with my family, just print it out, pass out the worksheets, get some hot chocolate, and you guys go for it. All right, you guys. So we are going to move on to the next session. I'm going to take a small break, and then we'll go to our next session, which is going to be the prep work, laying the groundwork for success. So go ahead and download the companion worksheet for this session, and you can go ahead and download the worksheet for the next session, which is prep work, and I will be right back. right, you guys. All right, you guys, we are going into our next session. I'm a little early. So make sure you download the companion worksheet. Let me see if I can put that on the, if I can put this on the board. All right, I see Eloise in the house. I'm gonna put you up. You ready to come on camera, Eloise? One second. All right, you guys, we're gonna go into prep work, laying the groundwork for success. And I'm gonna bring up Eloise before that happens. Minimize. Working with this tech here. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are
Thank you.
you? Oh
I
wait.
am wonderfully well and blessed. Happy New Year to one and all. I don't know, you always seem to catch me in the kitchen. Is this my year of being in the kitchen?
Okay.
But
So what is
I
your?
am
Let me turn off my iPad. She talking. She talking away. Um. So how are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to one and all. Best wishes for 2025.
So what's your number one goal for 2025? If you can't
Okay.
reach any goal, if you don't reach no other goal on your list, what is the number one goal that you've got to reach?
I think well, let me reflect a little. Looking back at 2024, I did not achieve my full potential. So 2025, I am striving for excellence. That's my goal for 2025. No more mediocrity. I'm going to
Okay.
step into my greatness. And I am so excited at all the possibilities that are ahead of me.
Okay. What do you think was your one of your greatest lessons?
My greatest lessons is having like goal setting, planning, and not following through with the action does not lead to success. So we can sit here. I did my vision board. I did everything last year, and I like to say my success rate was about 30%, which is not great. But if I hadn't set any goals, I wouldn't have achieved some of the things that I did. So I'm looking forward to building on that and doing way better 2025.
Okay. If you and this is random. Sometimes I was thinking yesterday to take a picture of myself today, and sometimes we take a picture of ourselves like a before and after where you see whether you're like doing weight gain and stuff like that. But sometimes you ever take a picture of yourself and think about not the external but the internal. Like, this is a picture of me. This is how I felt on this day. This is like, because sometimes we're going through stuff. Who is this person today? Not what you physically see on the actual photo, but when you look into the eyes of the person that's on that photo, like, who are you today? And what are you striving for? You get that, when your mom used to look at you in the corner and be like, girl, get up. Like, you see it in their eyes. This time next year, same day next year, how do you see yourself?
Uh, I see myself very improved in the personal development area. I have um, one of my goals is to listen and utilize the wisdom of others that came before me. So I'm definitely on a personal development journey. In terms of my family life, I see us more close knit and we do a lot of stuff together, but I want it to be more spirit filled.
Okay.
Like, yeah, God has to be in, more in everything we do. And so that's faith, family. I see myself. I'm battling with traveling because I travel a lot, but that's also looking at the budget. It's kind of pulling at my budget.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe planning more for the travel. Um, Definitely putting money aside. So she'll be somebody that has enjoyed the travel without the debt behind it. And in terms of my career, I just got a new promotion, so I'd be more walking more confident in my new role.
Okay.
Yeah. And in terms of my business, I'm at a stage where I'm doing two things, and I'm trying to probably step more into my insurance role to help more families, because I feel that a lot of people are not prepared
Mm-hmm.
for whatever may come, and things come throughout our lives. Um, I know I'm definitely stronger since I lost my grandnephew almost 2 years now, going into 2 years now, and we were devastated. He was only 18 months,
Oh,
and we just was not prepared for that. So I want to reach out to families and get them prepared for any eventuality and their retirement, because we're getting older as a society and they haven't prepared a lot for retirement. So that's how I see the new LOEs in
okay.
2026.
And I know this is kind of what's good is because my husband has his insurance license as well, and then he has he does rollovers and that type of stuff. And what's good for you in the nursing, a lot of people on his team who are nurses, they are making good money too, but also helping because they need to trust you. And once you personally have that trust with the nurses and help them to roll over and help them with that 401k money, that's a good source of income for you too, as you teach and train. And then so I'm excited about that. You have a nurses and people who, a lot of them have helped their families who are 59 and a half move their money over and stuff like that. So yeah, that's going to be good for you. Take advantage of that, and that's going to be trust, because everybody can't do that. It's going to be harder for me to come and talk to the nurses or him to come talk to the nurses, even though he does the same thing. But that's going to be good for you.
Yes, thank you.
That'll be your travel. That'll be your travel money. Because what's good about us, you're helping too. Like, you're helping and you reap the rewards of the financial benefit, not just getting a financial benefit for yourself. And so that's going to help them and help you and get that travel money. All
Looking
right.
forward to it.
Yeah. Any other passing words you wanna give us for 2025?
2025 is a no limit year. Do not set boundaries, do not set limits on yourself. Whatever you think you can do, you can do it, and you can achieve it. And I think sometimes we limit ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching Ruth Bader Ginsburg last night,
Mm-hmm.
and she was just so phenomenal because they, in her time, she got blocked so many times trying to do what she did,
Mm-hmm.
as a woman. And we just have to be set no boundary, no limits. Fawn Weaver, that does Uncle Nearest brand of
Oh
whiskey from
yeah. Mm-hmm.
she's awesome. I mean, there's so many examples out there for us to see that no matter what the boundary, and we can achieve.
All right, good job. All right, well, thanks for joining me here on the first annual Goal-A-Thon. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Have an awesome day.
You
All right, hey there, Kennedy Shansay, stopping by to say hello to her beautiful mother. And congratulations. If you want to say it, I say it. Congratulations to you. All right, so we are going to move on to our next session, which is the prep work. So thank you guys for working with me with these with these slides. Why don't you slide? All right, so now I got to figure out how I got rid of this slide from the beginning. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I might have to put this slide back up. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna put some music on and I'm gonna get this slide up. All right, so we're gonna go into the prep work, laying the groundwork for success. And this is new in the goals handbook. So if you've seen this, I added a couple of things because I felt like this was important. A lot of times we work on our goals, we have the plan, it's a SMART goal, but when we skip this part, I believe it's crucial in goal setting, and that is the TDA framework. So this is new. This is a tool, discipline, and accountability. It's a powerful method to prepare for success. So we're going to discuss briefly how this TDA is going to affect you. One, I'm going to just read from so this is before the work. This is before you start working on your goals. This is before you take the first step. So I'm just going to read it from the book on page 24. So if you have your goals journal, you're on, read along. If we're on page 24 through 26. In pursuing our dreams, the journey often begins long before the work starts. Welcome to the before the work phase, an essential yet often overlooked step in achieving meaningful goals. This phase lays the groundwork for effective action, ensuring that every effort is purposeful and aligned with your true potential. And that is called the TDA. And the TDA is, and you can use this in other areas of your life, not just with goal setting, but number one is the tool. And so now when we're talking about goal setting, your tool is going to be the Ultimate Goals Handbook. Just as every craftsman relies on their tools and every artist on their brush, your journey towards goals and growth requires the right instruments. And so the Ultimate Goals Handbook isn't just a collection of pages, it's a meticulously designed tool crafted to guide you from aspiration to actualization. So consider it your map through the uncharted waters of goal achievement. And so for this particular journey of our goal setting in 2025, your tool is the Ultimate Goals Handbook. Again, if you are into art, your tool might be something else. Your tool might be the perfect toolkit that helps you with your art. If you are a designer, your tool is going to look different. If you are if you're designing things, your tool. So whatever that tool is, it is important to get the right tool for what it is that you're trying to achieve. And then discipline. Once you have the tool, yeah, you have the handbook. Yeah, everything's in here. You got your book resources, you got sample routines, you got sample goals. It's broken down into 7 steps, but it doesn't help you if you're not disciplined to use it. And a lot of times people will say, oh, I got your book. And yeah, it's good that you got my book and I got a couple of dollars in the bank. But if you're not using the book, it's not impacting you. It's not helping you. And so now that you have the right tool, now you have to have discipline to use it. So discipline is the skill that you own. Discipline is the bridge between setting goals and realizing them. So while this handbook is the path and it guides you, discipline means showing up consistently, regardless of challenges, regardless of distractions, and honoring the promises that you made to yourself. So when you set goals, you're setting goals that you set for yourself. And so there's the tool, there's the discipline, and then there's the accountability, which is the anchor. So no ship sails without an anchor. As storms are bound to come, accountability ensures that you don't drift from your course when they do. So whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend, a family member, a coworker, or we have a Goal Setters Mastermind, having someone to share your journey with makes the path less daunting. And so even you heard some of the guest speakers come up, Six Figure Cisco, Eloise, they're a part of some accountability groups that I'm in, and we help keep each other accountable. We help remind each other the goals that we set for ourselves. We have projects that we work on together, as a group. And so I want to encourage you, before you move forward in 2025 with whatever goals that you have somebody in your corner. Just like Six Figure Cisco's there with his wife, I'm telling you, I started my goal setting journey. Well, I started my goal setting journey with my manager, Peggy, when I was working in a restaurant. But I started my family goal setting journey, I believe it was in 2009, when I sat my family down and we talked about our goals together. And we have become our biggest support, where we sit there and we say, hey, what is it that you want to do? What are your goals? And then we figure out how to help each other. So your accountability could be your family. Your accountability could be your spouse. Your accountability could be your friend. Your accountability could be your neighbors. Maybe you have your neighbors, you guys get together, have your coffee, have breakfast, and discuss your goals. Your accountability can be coworkers. You guys can meet together before work or after work or mid work and discuss your goals together. Your accountability could be people at your church. If you're trying to reach your spiritual goals and you're trying to pray more and you're trying to seek God more, then you want to seek it with people who have the same goals as you, or, so you can get people at your church. So it works for whatever you're wanting to be accountable for. Like, I can't be your accountability for working out. Not yet. I'm not her. So you want to get somebody where it's fun for them, where they excel in that, right? Let me see if there's another. So I'm going to, in your goals journal on page, your goals handbook, I got to stop saying goals journal because it's been a goals journal forever. And now it is now the goals handbook. So in your handbook, there is a commitment to transformation. There's a commitment to transformation. And it says, in recognizing the power within me to shape my future, I now commit to myself and my transformation journey. And there's a commitment transformation worksheet. You can download that as well. My initial thought was to have an event guide. But I have, in case that some people already have the book and they don't need the worksheets, some people may only be doing portions of the sessions. So for this particular session, this is session 2, you can download your transformation pledge worksheet. If you don't have the book, it's on page 26. If you don't have the book, then go ahead and get that download and you can print it out. And it's telling you, you're committing to yourself, you're committing to discipline, and you're committing to finding a partner to help you with your goals in 2025. Friends don't let friends set goals alone. Grab your friends, grab your family, grab your spouse, grab your nieces, grab your nephews. Don't leave nobody behind in 2025. And I hear a lot of people say that, and I understand. I do understand, some people are saying, hey, I'm not taking nobody with me in 2025. I'm getting rid of everybody in 2025. I'm letting go of all these people in 2025. Well, who's going to get those people? Now, there's a difference. Sometimes you do got to leave some people behind in 2025, but also grab somebody in 2025. grab somebody, walk alongside them, and then you walk along somebody. So mentor and then be a mentee in 2025. So with the TDA method, it's a tool, it's discipline, and accountability. Okay. I'm going to put up so if you scan the companion worksheet, there is a companion worksheet for this session, which is the TDA. You can download that, print it out, put it on your fridge. All right. Good morning, Adrian. Did you want to come up? I'm gonna bring you up. All right. So that's the end of this session. The TDA method, which is your tool, your discipline, and your accountability. All right. And so I'm going to bring up Adrian. Are you there? Let me know in the chat if you planned on coming up or you just were in. You have to have your camera on. All right, so I think that she's not coming up. All right, you guys, we are going to go into our next session. Get a little music real quick. All right, and we are live on YouTube right now. If you want to watch or you want to invite others to watch, you can. You guys can hear me typing. I'm just going to type up something real quick. Right. So you guys, if you want to watch live, you can watch live on YouTube. I know I sent a link out to some of my friends. They wanted to join. But you can watch it live on YouTube. We're also live on Facebook and a couple other channels. We are going to go into our next session, which is before the goals. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging with me. It hasn't even been an hour. 56 minutes. 56 minutes. And we are on session 3. This session is called Before the Goal. So we did before the work. So before the work is before you get the work, make sure you have the right tool. Make sure you commit to being disciplined, and make sure you get an accountability partner. I know it's me, myself, and I, but in 2025, let's make sure we have accountability partners to help us with the goals that we set for ourselves. All right. And then now we're going to go into before the goal. So now you're setting your goals. You have an idea what you want to do for your finances, what you want to do for your travel, your giving goals. But before we do that, I have a process, which is before. And so I'm going to go through that. Before you set any goal for yourself, you should brag on yourself. We kind of talked about that a little bit in our year in review. It's not the same as a year in review, but brag on yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up Adrian. Adrian, I'm gonna bring you up after this session. Okay. So before bragging on yourself, your wins, and inside of your goals journal, your goals handbook, there's a space for you to write these things in. I believe that bragging on yourself or remembering your wins or remembering who you are, that helps with your confidence. So your reflection, what goal did you achieve last year or in previous years that made you proud? List 3 positive adjectives about yourself. And reason why this is important too, because some of us are business owners, some of us are, so into achieving big goals that we forget about some of the small wins and small talents, which is really, really not small. Maybe you can cook. Maybe you can sing. Maybe you're a caregiver. List those things too about your character and who you are. So list things that you're skilled at. Maybe you're really good at something that don't have nothing to do with your bigger goals that you're trying to achieve. So in your handbook, you have a space to write down your wins and your achievements. 2, the E is embrace who you are today. Embrace who you are today. So in pursuit of your goals, change is the only constant in your environment, your relationships, your knowledge, and most importantly, within yourself. And if you've been reaching your goals and if you've been reading the books, you've been attending the conferences, you've been joining accountability groups, you have changed. You might want something different. Before I joined, so I'm a part of the morning meetup. And thank you. A lot of my friends have showed up here today to support me, sent me text messages, and just supporting me throughout this space. I've changed. I want to travel now. I want to go to Atlanta to hug. I want to go to Atlanta to hug Auntie Shaky face to face. And my husband knows me. I don't want to get on a plane for nobody. I'm not trying to travel to nobody. I'm not trying to go to no events. And so, but this year or last year, I've changed. I have some different goals. So you want to embrace who you are today. You don't want to take your goals from last year and put them over on this list without reflecting, without getting that TDA, and then without doing this process. So some of the reflection questions: how are you different today than you were last year? And again, for each of these sessions, there is a free companion worksheet. So if you don't have the journal, there's a companion worksheet that you can download for each of the sessions. All right. The F is forgive yourself. What do you need to forgive yourself for from 2024? I need to forgive myself for not losing the weight. And there were some other issues. It's not an excuse. There was some hormonal stuff. Your girl is 54. Things are different than they were when I was 20. You think you're going to lose the weight real quick and you're not. Or my husband is just, he can eat cake and ice cream and not gain no weight. I look at the cake and ice cream and gain weight just from looking at it. I'm like, I didn't even eat you. Now how am I gaining weight? So there were some things I had to look at also. But for January, I'm doing my 21-day plant-based challenge. I'm doing my water challenge that starts today, and just getting to a place where I can get this extra weight off. I didn't meet my financial goals last year. and I have to forgive myself for that. So it's okay. There's a space where before bragging on yourself, embracing who you are today, forgiving yourself for the goals that you didn't reach, and then own who you are. So we talk about this with the DISC assessments, with your love languages, with your Myers-Briggs, with your DISC assessment, with your shape, if you are a believer in your spiritual gifts. Knowing who you are with these assessments helps you kind of analyze things different. I never knew I was an INFJ until I worked for a church and I had to take a test. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why I sit in the back. That's why I do this. That's why I make these decisions. And so it's not to use it as a crutch. It's to use it to know, hey, this is why I do things the way I do things, and then you're able to better manage. The R is reflect. There's a lot of reflecting. Because I honestly believe that we move forward with the past and not take the time to sit and reflect on how do we feel today and who we are, right? Let's see, our R. First, I'm going to give you, expect to change. The E is expect to change by making room for your goals. Expect to change. If you are expecting to buy a house this year, start packing. Start throwing away things that you're moving. Act as if you're planning on losing weight, start getting the size 10s. Start getting rid of the old clothes. If you're planning to get married, you're planning to, to expand your family, start making room for those things. Because a lot of times we kind of say what our goals are, what we say we want, but we don't make space for it. We don't make room for it because we don't believe that it's happening. But when you start making room, and in the goals handbook, I have a story that I shared, that Steve Harvey shared, about his mom. And she was saying, hey, you keep saying you're going to buy a new car, but your old car is still out there on the blocks. You keep saying you're going to buy a new car, but your old car is out there on the blocks. You keep saying you're going to buy a new car, but she kept saying it. He kept saying, why do you keep saying that to me? And she said, in order to expect something new, you got to start making room and get rid of the old. When you get the new car, where are you going to park it? Where are you going to put it? So start making space now. Get rid of that old car so you can have, no, listen, I don't mean get rid of your old car if you only got one car, but I mean start making space this year, cleaning out and making space for what you're expecting. When you're getting a new refrigerator, or you're getting a new TV, or you're getting a new couch, most times before that delivery guy comes, you're getting rid of the old couch. The old TV is out, you're making space for the refrigerator, you're cleaning behind it. That's the activity that you should do in this session. And the last one is, I should know this. Well, it was the last one, expect to change. So you got before the goal, brag on yourself, embrace who you are, forgive yourself, own who you are by taking your assessments, knowing why you do things the way you do, reflect, and expect to change. All right. So that is the before the section. I'm going to bring up, oh, she's not there. Okay, Adrian, let me know if you want to come on. Go use that link that I sent you. Let me send that to you again. All right, you guys, thank you for your patience. This is the One Woman Show. I got the tech. Let's see. All right, you guys, we're going to prepare for the next session. Adrian's going to come up. Give me a couple minutes on it. All right, Adrian, welcome. Come on up. Where are you? All right, Adrian, I think you have to take off your camera. Turn on your camera. Okay, Adrian, you want to use the link from Restream. Let me see if I can send it to you. All right, you guys, we are going to move on to our next session. I'm trying to get Adrian on here. Dr. Velva Jones, thank you for joining us this morning for the first annual Goal-A-Thon. Thank you so much. So depending on where you guys are watching, we're also live on YouTube. And there is a free companion worksheet for each session. Right, so we're going to move into designing your ideal life. Okay, Adrian, use the Restream app, the Restream link. And then there should be a button where you can flip your camera on. And I actually put your camera on. If you just log on, all right, you guys, let's see. All right, let's try it. So is your physical camera on your phone on? I think that might be the issue. Hmm. All right, I was trying to get Adrian on here. All right, you guys, we're gonna come back to Adrian. All right, you guys, I have some of my friends showing up. You can watch live on YouTube, but if you are speaking, you have to click on the link that I send you in order to speak. So I can click off of that and get you on, okay? All right, so we are going to move into the next session, which is design your ideal life. Let me pull up my notes for that. All right, so this is design your ideal life. And let me get my notes. And this is on page 63 through 66 of your goals handbook. So 63, set a goal to live your best ideal life. And there's a quote by Michael Dale. He says, as you start your journey, the first thing you should do is throw away the store-bought map and begin to draw your own. And so what does your dream life look like? And so hopefully this session will guide you into crafting a vivid vision for your ideal life. Not the life that people think we should have, not the life that sounds good on paper, but the life that you actually want to live. Sometimes we can get caught up into social media. Sometimes we get caught up into, especially getting married, you get caught up into the couple's goals and what that relationship looks like to the world. But You have to know what success looks like for you, especially with marriage couple. We try not to. I think we're going on 34 years this year. We try not to give marriage advice, but we try to share our experience. We try to share what worked for us because your husband may not want you to cook dinner every night, where some husbands are expecting dinner every night. So knowing what you're expecting from that person, knowing what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, that's very important because you go into somewhere expecting something and the other person don't even know what's going on. Oh, you was expecting that from me? So knowing what you expect from life, what that looks like. So imagine a life where you're free to be, do, and have anything you desire. No limitations, no approval, no validations from others. What does success look like for you at the highest level? Who's around you? You know, this is a good, and there is a companion worksheet for this. This is a good exercise to, I think you should do this alone too. This is a good exercise to do alone by yourself. Um, what brings you joy and fulfillment and purpose? This might be good to draw out and write out, or we have ChatGPT now. Just say, hey, can you craft a photo of this particular experience? I know for me, I think about sometimes when you work in corporate America for a minute, there was a long time, me being an insurance agent, it's just me, not putting it out on nobody else. There was a certain period when I felt like if I had my hair braided, I made less sales. And so I wore my hair braided twice. And after that, I never wore braids again. And I don't want to have to choose between how I feel and who I am. If I feel like I want to wear braids, I should wear braids and have the same amount of sales that I could have in a regular day. So when I think about my ideal life, I should be able to wear my hair how I want to wear my hair. I should be able to wear the clothes that I want to wear where they're comfortable. Um, I want to get up early in the morning and have my coffee, walk out to my beachfront house with my husband. I want to eat breakfast when I want to or cook. I told my daughter, instead of having a maid, I just want somebody to clean the kitchen. Can somebody just wash the dishes? Let me cook. You just clean up. Um, I would rather have an editor. Imagine having just an editor where I can just write all day and they just edit and I can publish books all day. I have so many ideas. So it's not just about material items, and it can include that. What kind of car you want to drive, where you want to live, what kind of house you want, but also what kind of character, what do you want to be known for? What about your values? What about your experience? What about hobbies that you want to try? We had talked about this exercise before, and I remember my daughter said she wanted to um, ride on a horse, and I never knew that. And we were like, "Oh, you want to ride on a horse?" So sometimes just having these experiences and writing down what you really want, how you see your everyday, day to day life, writing out a daily schedule. Like we have a daily schedule, we have a daily to do schedule. Write another to-do schedule as if you already achieved what you wanted, and then write out what that looks like. Hey, today I get up at 7, I take the kids to school, I make breakfast, I sit down, I watch a movie, I work for 4 hours, I'm done. The rest of the night I'm eating dinner with my spouse, my candlelight dinner in our beach house. If that's your ideal life, let's write that out. um The life we desire often requires us to grow into the person who can embrace it fully. So you also want to ask yourself, who do I need to become in order to live this life that I want to live? So designing your ultimate ideal life, who do you need to become for that? So on page 66, it says, use this space to vividly describe your dream life without limitations. Imagine your ideal home, your car, career, relationships, your daily activities. This exercise invites you to explore your full potential. When you start doing your goals, And you probably experienced that with other people, not me. Even when you come, like we have a vision board party every year at my house. We've been having, I think this is our 12th year or 13th year. Change my lighting. And before we even put any pictures on a board, before we even cut out a magazine, before we pull out the glue, we go through these exercises because there's nothing worse, in my opinion, to have a vision board that you have to look at every single day where you haven't reflected. It doesn't reflect the person that you really want to become, and it's not your ideal life. And you have this vision board that reflects other people's vision for you or what you think looks good on a big board. So before we even do that, we have a discussion, we reflect, we do the before exercise, we kind of think about what we want to, are we still that same person, you know? So I know I mentioned this several times. We do not move goals from one year to the next year without reflecting. Okay. So this is a good exercise to draw out. You know, I used to have a podcast. I started my first podcast called Coffee and Crayons. And it was pretty much for adults to keep dreaming. So as you're having your coffee as a grown adult, you also can pull out that crayon and draw a picture of your life. And so use this opportunity before you go into your goals, crafting your ideal vision for your life. Okay. There is a worksheet. Again, there's a worksheet for every session. So there's a worksheet that you can download. Again, if you have your friends, if you have your family with you, you figure out a session that you like or a session you want to dive into, you can download those free worksheets and pass them out at the table. And so tonight, if you want to go over your ideal life, you want to go over the before session, download those worksheets, pass them out, and go through it with your family, your friends, your cousins, right? So that is this session. Your core identity, your crafting out your vision. All right. All right. Welcome, everybody. Hey there. There's Che. Thank you so much. We got EEFY Travel. Thank you for joining us. Che or Jamila, let me know if you want to come up and give the people 5 goals that they need for budgeting or 5 goals that they should be setting for travel, even though we're not on a travel session. If you want to share your goals for 2025, your number 1 goal, just let me know. There's a link for you if you want to come up. All right, so we are finishing up that section. If you want to, I'm trying to find the download link for you guys. Okay, so there is a Goal-A-Thon companion worksheet. If you scan the QR code for the companion worksheet, you can pick session 1. So this right now, we are on session 4, designing your ideal life. All right. All right, so I'm going to move on. Thank you guys for joining me. The life I designed for myself is less stress and lots of peace and joy. Yes. Yes. All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. So we have just finished session 4. I'm way above my schedule. And now we're going to go into core identity. And for those of you who have your goals handbook, we are literally going through some of the chapters in here page by page. So now we are on core identity. Unlock your true self through self-discovery assessments. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. Maybe I'm not going to pull that up real quick. Maybe we just going to talk through it. let me see if I can pull this one up, you guys. Put some music on, and then we're going to go into core identity. Okay, I don't have that slide, so we're going to just talk about it. We're going to go to core identity. That is going to be on. That is going to be on your page 41, which is own who you are. You were born an original, don't die a copy. I know you guys heard that before. I know you may have heard that quote before, but several years ago, several years ago, I was on staff at a church called New Song Church in Irvine, and it was predominantly Asian, probably about 5,000, maybe about three to 5,000, pretty big church. And maybe there were 3 African American families, which is I was one of those. But I loved it because it was like a place for misfits, and that was like the kind of like the message of the church. Hey, if you're creative, if you're a misfit, you feel out, join this church, and I loved it. So one of the things after I joined on staff, we had to do assessments. And I had never done an assessment before, I don't think. So, 2 of the assessments, I did the spiritual gifts and I did the Myers Briggs. And that's when I found out that I was an INFJ. And an INFJ, with that, there's only 1% of INFJs in the world, according to these tests. So that means, if there's 100 people, I'm like, what? Or if there's 1,000 people, I'm like 1% of 1,000 people. So if you got 5,000 people in a room and 1% of them are INFJs, nobody's thinking like me. And that brought in, I talked about it before. You want to use your assessments as a help for you, not a crutch. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm an INFJ, so, or I'm this, so, you use it so it helps you bring clarity to why you move the way you move. And that was an eye opener for me. So once I took that test, I was like, oh, that's why I'm always sitting in the back. Oh, that's why I'm drained and my energy is drained when I'm in front of a lot of people, because I'm an introvert. And so it's not that I was shy. I could sing, I can speak in front of everybody. I wasn't shy or scared. I just didn't get my energy from people, where extroverts get their energy from people. So that was like a game changer for me. So I would recommend, this is all in your before the work. Again, a lot of goals journals, we could have just hit the ground running with the goals. But before the goal work, before you start to put pen to paper, it's important to own who you are, and not just know who you are from assessments, but own that. And again, not use it as a crutch, but how can I? So what I started doing, knowing I was an introvert, knowing that it affected me as far as my sales, why I didn't want to go to vending events, why I didn't want to mingle, why I didn't want to go to networking events, then hey, I started going with my cousin, because she's going to talk about my business. So if you're an introvert and you have a business and you don't want to go and do a vending event, or you don't want to mix, take an extrovert with you. So you don't got to say nothing. You're there and they're there. They're going to promote. They're going to mingle. My daughter was an extrovert. And so being able to take her and have her run the booth while I sit there, she'd be like, hey, do you have my mom's book? Hey, do you know this? Hey, do you know this? She was talking, mingling. Hey, here's my mom's card. And I'll just sit there. And then it was time for me to talk. I talked. When it was time for me to present, I present. When it was time for me to do what I need to do, I could do that. And my energy wasn't drained because she was doing that. And so knowing who you are, owning who you are, using the results of your test, not as a crutch, but as a asset to who you are. So in your handbook, there's a space, And I believe on my website, there's a link on the website for you to click on those resources. Most of those tests are free. A couple of them you do have to pay for. And depending on how in depth you want to go, you might want to pay for it so you can get a better, better result. But the love language test, these are the ones that I feel are good for goal setting. There's a whole bunch of assessments out there. These are the ones that I recommend for your goal setting. So love language, identifying and understanding your primary love language, knowing how you and others express love can enhance your relationships and communication. So for your relationships, especially if you're married, you have a spouse, I highly recommend knowing your love language. Not only knowing your love language, but knowing your spouse's love language as well. And knowing your kids' love language. I think he has a book. There's a book, and I think it's on my website. He has a book for families, and he has a book for spouses. He has a love language for teens. And so knowing if you have kids, especially if you have teenagers, knowing what their love language is and teaching them what theirs is. So this is a really good exercise. My love language is acts of service and words of affirmation. So if you're a spouse and you keep giving me gifts and you keep buying me stuff, knowing that doesn't move me, and that could be frustrating within a marriage relationship where somebody is consistently buying you stuff and you don't even care about those gifts. I care how you talk to me. I care how you serve me. I care if you come and take the groceries out of the car. And so knowing your love languages, this is going to help you with your relationship goals. And then the Myers-Briggs. Determine your Myers-Briggs personality type. This assessment will help you understand your personality traits, your preferences, and how you interact with the world. So again, I explained I was INFJ, and there's 1% of us. There's a lot of y'all extroverts, out there. Let me see if and then my DISC assessment, discover your DISC personality profile. This assessment focuses on your behavioral traits, helping you understand your work style and your communication preferences. And so I'm an SC for my DISC assessment. And let's see. And then you have your shape and you have your spiritual gifts. So my spiritual gifts, giving, faith, mercy, discerning. My shape is encouragement, giving, and serving. So knowing those things, especially if you're serving or if you're in church, then if some people don't, when you take your shapes and you take your these other assessments, that helps you to know where you should be volunteering in the church. That's why everybody shouldn't be volunteering in the same ministry. You want to volunteer where your gifts are. I think I'm going to show you. Give me 5 seconds. I'm going to show you my. Oh, it's not in here. But I have a book where I keep all my assessments in, so I can go back to them, where I keep my shapes assessment, where I keep I think I moved it, so I don't have it here. But I would highly recommend when you take your assessments to keep them, and then keep them for your spouse as well and your kids. All right. So that was fast. Do you guys have any questions about the assessments, or you have any questions about... So core identity. I'm going to put these in the chat too. I don't know how that's going to work. I think that was too much. So your love language, put that on the screen. So the love language, understand how you express and receive love to enhance relationships and communication. And again, in your handbook, it has a space where you can write those out. And in the Myers-Briggs, where you gain insights into your personality traits, your preferences, and how you interact with the world. And then your DISC assessment. If anybody needs a DISC assessment, I do have those. So explore your behavioral style and work habits. And then your shape, especially if you are involved in any ministry or church. I would highly, especially if you're a pastor or if you are a leader. You know, I was a leader of children's ministry for 7 years and in communications. We all did our shape, and we all did our. I didn't put the other one on there. The shape and spiritual gifts. Those are two different assessments. All right, so don't forget to download the companion worksheet for that. If you scan the QR code for that, you'll see companion worksheets. It's actually going to take you to the page with all the companion worksheets. There's 7 right now. Your girl is uploading the rest of them. All right, if there's no questions, we're going to move on to the next session. Okay, so our next session is going to be strategic goal setting. And I just want to say during this time, whatever goal you have for 2025, do it scared. Because this is new for me. This is new for me. And I'm taking the chance here. 12 hours of goal setting, you know. Sometimes the tech doesn't work how you want it to work. Sometimes things don't work how you want it to work. But do it scared. Jump. Put your toe in there. Okay, so I don't think I have a worksheet for that one. Okay, so the next one, our next session is going to be strategic goal setting for short and long-term goals. So with the goals handbook, this focuses on a 1-year goal. So what you want to accomplish in 1 year, broken down in 12 different categories. But some goals might be a 5-year or a 10-year. You know, a lot of companies, when you go for an interview, they say, what do you want to do in 5 years? What do you want to be? You're not here. That's not the right answer. But they want to know where you plan, where you see yourself in 5 years. Do you still see yourself here with the company? Do you still see yourself moving up? Do you see yourself in management? And a lot of times they ask you that so they can either put together a game plan for you. Some people maybe you just want to work there for a paycheck, and that's fine. But if you're there and you want to excel or you want to become management, now they may be adding more responsibilities to you while you're there to help you get closer to that 5-year mark. And so there are times in our busy world where, yes, you're focusing on the year, but if you have long-term goals, you still have to move different during that year to set you up for success for, that 5-year plan. So what does that look like? Again, our focus for the handbook is 1 year. But if there's something like, say, 1 year, so the 1 year goals, these should be stepping stones that move you closer to your larger goals. Your 5 years should be like medium term. This is where your vision takes shape, where it balances with, say, like buying a home or going to school or things like that. Those are like your 5 years. I have some examples. Let me see. I know a lot of us are just trying to get day to day, you know, not 5 years. So 1 year, maybe you're saving 5,000 for emergency fund, or saving for a vacation, or you're completing a certification, or you're getting a fitness routine. You're trying to lose 15 pounds. You want to launch a business or side hustle. You want to organize or declutter your home. You want to create a stress-free environment. These are immediate goals that you could focus on in 1 year. Let me put that up there. So the 1 year goals. Now, when we start looking at 5 year goals, maybe you're completing a degree program. Maybe you're buying your first home or an investment property. Maybe you are looking into, we talked about a leadership position or promotion. Something like that may take 5 years. Maybe you're publishing a book. Shouldn't take you 5 years. It used to take 5 years. I wrote my first book in 99. That took a minute because that was old school where we had to mail our manuscripts to the editor and have them mailed back. We had to find a graphic designer, and then we had to go get this file on a hard drive. So yeah, maybe a couple years ago it took 5 years. Shouldn't take you 5 years now to write a book. There's so many resources available. Travel to 3 bucket list destinations. Maybe one of your travel goals is going to take a little bit of years. Like us, my husband, my son lives in Portugal. He's planning on, well, probably shouldn't say it on this live, but he may not come here to the United States again. And so one of our goals will be to go and visit him and see his new place. He had a place built from the ground up. So that may be a goal that's going to take us more than a year to accomplish. We were trying to get the whole family to go see him. So something like that would be like a 5 year goal. Okay, 10 years. Let me put this up here. So 10-year goals may look like retire with financial stability and passive income, because sometimes the 401k or whatever you have in place may not be enough. So this year, while you're planning your 1 year goals, you're also having a separate 10-year retirement plan, because maybe it's going to take you a minute to get that together. And you can't do it 10 years from now because it's too late. So there are some of those goals where you have to plan simultaneously. Paying off your mortgage to become debt-free. Building a successful nonprofit business. Maybe that's going to take you a little bit longer for a profit. Sending your kids to college, fully funding their education. So depending on what age your kids are and you're setting up their college fund, you can't set up the college fund right before they go to college or the year of. So those type of things take planning. Relocating to your dream city or country. You know, again, that's what my son did. He decided, hey, I'm going to move to Portugal. I'm going to get a house. I'm going to build it from scratch. And that's what he did. And that took longer than just a year of maybe buying a home as opposed to buying a home in another country, knowing how those things work. So I believe this is on page... It's in the beginning of your handbook. Sorry, guys. So on page 76 to page 78, now you want to look at and the reason why this is important is not to overwhelm you, but it's kind of what we talked about. The reason why you want to put your 1 year and your 5 year and your 10 year in place now, because some of those goals you might need to work on this year. You might need to start your 401k. You might need to start your emergency fund. You might need to start your college fund. If your kids are 1 or 2 and you're looking at, or maybe they're 10 and you're looking at a 10 year, or they're 5 and you're looking, so now you want to start putting those plans into place now. So it's not for overwhelm. It's not to add more stuff to your plate, but some of those goals are 5 year, 10 year that needs to be started this year, right? So that's what we're doing. We are mapping out our milestone goals, your short term, your mid-term. And of course, there is a worksheet for that, and that is on the screen. So go ahead and download your companion worksheet for that, or write inside of your journal. So you are writing your 1 year, your 5 year, your 10-year goals. All right. And I know I feel like I'm going fast. A lot of these sessions are supposed to be 30 minutes. I'm on 10:30 and it's only 8:47. So this 12-hour situation, I might have to rethink this. Any questions? Does anyone have any questions so far? I know we have a few people watching. Hopefully you are, I thank you if you're watching, supporting me. I appreciate that. I hope that you are also watching and doing the work or working on your goals at the same time. You know, you have all day. Some of us are off work. You have all day for you to be able to work this out, to write it out. It's a good day for that. So hopefully you are taking the time to write this out so you can hit the ground running tomorrow. Okay, so writing out your 1 to 5 year goals, 1, 5, and 10 year goals, sorry. And then we're gonna move on to the next session if there are no questions. All right, you guys use this time to either go through your goals handbook or download the companion worksheet. Let me see if I can just put the companion worksheet up by itself. All right, you guys, let me try to. All right, we are going to move into the next session, which is my 7-step method. So I'm going to put up the QR code. I'm trying to put it up directly so you don't have to. Okay. All right, so that is the companion worksheet for that, the 7-step goal worksheet, and it's also inside of your handbook. So I'm going to go through that. So in, I want to say 2009, I developed this 7-step method that I feel is good for to set any goal. So when you download that worksheet, you can put any goal in there and kind of map it out using that 7-step format. So what happened, my daughters, we were having our vision board workshop. We went to everybody and asked them what did they want to do, what were their goals for the year. She said she wanted to play for the WNBA. I think she was 10 at the time. And I did not like sports. I did not watch sports. I did not play basketball. I did not know what that meant. I didn't know how to help her. And so I kind of asked myself, what does that look like? You know, what does that look like as a mom for me helping my daughter reach her goals of becoming a WNBA player? And so I started calling people. I started asking people, hey, what do I do? How do I help her? And I got a lot of advice. I got a lot of, hey, join these programs. Make sure she's on a travel team. Make sure you contact your local city and see what games they have. Make sure, and then I'll start telling people. I started telling my friends. And one of my friends, Dr. Billy Ingram at the time, he knew Lisa Leslie. And then he invited her to her church. He invited my daughter to come. They had a conversation. She said, hey, you need to do this every day. Here's the routines that you need to put in place every day if you want to be good. And I think she told her like to dribble or do this. So my uncle bought her a basketball court to put in the back. So it became this family, it became this village moment where everybody was trying to help her play basketball. And that's how I got these steps. So the first thing is to write it down, you know. So I'm going to pull up the first step is to write your goal down. And you want to write it down in that smarter goal format. I know they have SMART goals. I have a smarter goal. So writing it down, does it make sense? Is it realistic? Is it measurable? Is it specific? Is it achievable? Is it relevant? You know, is it time bound? So like for me, if I wrote a goal saying, which is interesting because I just thought about that. If I wrote a goal saying, hey, I want to go to the Marines, or I want to go to the Army, or I want to go here. Well, because of my age, it doesn't make sense anymore. And so you still want to make sure that it's realistic and that it makes sense and that it's measurable. So writing it down with clarity. Hey, I want to lose weight. So you're like, okay, I want to lose weight. How is that a smart goal? I will lose 5 pounds by April 15th, 2025. That's more specific and measurable and achievable and relevant and time bound. So writing that out in that smarter format. My E and R is execution and routines. Because even if you write your goal out where it's specific and measurable and achievable and relevant and time bound, if you don't plan to execute and you don't have daily routines, it's a well thought out, prepared goal that doesn't get executed on. Okay. Step 2 is balance. So if your goal is to lose 15 pounds, that's fine. But how are you balancing that out? How are you going to lose that weight? Are you just going to exercise only? Are you going to eat healthy? Are you going to incorporate supplements? Is it health or are you just losing the weight? Are you going to incorporate drinking water? So there's different ways of losing weight. You can do it by eating. You can do it by working out. You can do it by supplements. You can do it by surgery. So there's all kind of ways to do that. But balancing out your goals is important. So balancing, especially the same thing when it comes to money. Okay, I want to make a certain amount. Okay, so you're making a certain amount, but that entails a whole lot of stuff. How are you budget? How are you spending? Are you credit? There's a lot of money things involved, not just saving, not just budgeting, not just spending, not just investing. And so, money has a lot of areas to it. When you say, I want to be financially independent. So how are you balancing that? Same with relationships. You could, okay, I want to have a better relationship, but what does that look like? It could look like dating. It could look like spending more time together. It could look like traveling. So as you start setting your goals, make sure there's some balance in that goal, whatever that goal looks like. Step 3, research. Research based on the goals that you set for yourself. So say with my daughter playing the WNBA, some of the research that we did is what magazines are available, what books are available when it comes to goal setting, what apps are available, what radio programs can she listen to, what kids programs, so what kind of resources can we pull together? What coaches do you need? We end up getting her a private coach. We end up putting her in researching the city programs that were available. So do your research. We talk about, say like one of your goals is to be a singer. Okay, I want to be a singer. What kind of singer do you want to be? Do you want to be a Grammy Award winning singer? Do you want to sing at funerals? Do you want to sing at weddings? Do you just want to sing on the internet and do covers? Based on how you want to sing, that's going to determine what research you want to do. So if you want to become a Grammy Award winning singer, now you have to research Grammys. You have to research being a part of the Grammy program. There's people who vote with the Grammys. There's other things that come into play. And so based on your goal of becoming a singer, what research do you need to have? Affirmations. So based on the goal that you set for yourself, what affirmations can you put into play? My affirmation of losing weight is going to be different than your affirmation for being a WNBA player or being debt free or your marriage. What kind of affirmations do you want to put into place that you want to say every single day? And those things you can record on your phone. You could post them up. So there's all kind of, you can have a whole page of affirmations. You can have affirmation sentences, but just saying it and repeating it every day. And then visualizing. So step 5 is to visualize your goals and success. If you come into my office, you'll see, all types of pictures and photos of what I'm expecting, what I'm visualizing, what I'm asking for. Got my prayer. Every month, I write out a new prayer, not a prayer affirmation, but based on what it is that I'm expecting in January, in addition to what I'm asking God for, I write out a prayer for that, and also keeping it open for what He needs to do. So I have a December prayer, I have a January prayer that I just finished. I write out what my financial expectations are, the experiences I had in December. And so I have a prayer, and that's in our prayer closet too. And so here I have posters posted up, I have my trips posted up. And so you want to just visualize your success. And 6, creating routines. Based on, okay, I want to be a singer. What are you doing every single day to become a singer? Are you practicing? Are you warming up your voice? Are you once a month, maybe you're doing an event where you sing? Maybe once a week, you're going on YouTube, doing a cover. So based on the goals that you set for yourself, what routines do you need to put in place in order to achieve those goals? And that's both daily, weekly, and monthly. All right. And step 7 is celebrate. I have a big issue with celebration, and I'm still working on it. I'm doing a lot better, but you want to celebrate your wins. Celebrate. A lot of people celebrate the end of the year, like, okay, we're doing a New Year's Eve celebration, but that should be a celebration too. I was watching Devon Franklin last night, and he was saying, "Hey, we made it. We made it through the new year. We made it 365 days. You should just be celebrating the fact that you made it, but then celebrating what you accomplished in 2024. I have let me show you. It's kind of ghetto, but my daughter gave me this for my birthday. I think it was my birthday. And it's a jar, and it has a little mustard seed in there. You can't see it, but it's like a tiny mustard seed. And it's a little mustard seed in this big old jar. Because I know that that's all the faith that I need. That's from Matthew 19, 20, and 21. That's all the faith that I need, which is the size of that mustard seed. But I also turned this into our win jar for 2025. So all of our wins, all of our prayers, what does it say on here? All of our answered prayers, all of our goals reached, all of our accomplishments, all of our unexpected blessings will go in here. And so at the end of the year, you can't see it? Hold on. Hold on. It's like a little tiny mustard seed. It's like a little tiny mustard seed in there. And because that's the amount so I changed this from my mustard seed jar. And on here, I'm going to make it better. But what goes in here is our goals reached, answered prayers, accomplishments, and unexpected blessings. Because a lot of times when we're reviewing the year, I find that we forget a lot of things. And then I also recommend using your phone to go back to your pictures to see what actually happened in January, what actually happened in February, as you're reflecting on the year and celebrating that. So next year, one of our new traditions will be to go through this jar. So now that we know we're going to go through this in December, we're going to be more aware to put our wins in there. So even though I was just gonna tell y'all, this is hard for me today. This is so hard, and I'm so proud of myself. But this is an accomplishment. This is a start of something big, But you have to start again. So if you were here early, you have to start, and so that will go in my jar. So in December of next year, when we're going through that, like, hey, I had my first Goal-A-Thon. Next year, who knows what will be, we'll have guest speakers, or we'll have it at an actual place, or it'll be divided into categories. I don't know, but you have to start. And so celebrate your milestones, celebrate your starts, celebrate. It doesn't have to be complete to celebrate. You just celebrate the just starting. Okay. So those are the 7 steps. Put that back up there. Yeah, so applying the 7 steps to any goal that you are reaching was to identify your goals and write them down. 2, balance. 3, research what books, coaches, magazines, apps, resources that you need. 4, affirmations, writing positive words and affirmations around that goal that you have. 5, visualize, and you can do that either with a vision board or a photo or a phone cover or computer screensaver. Act, which is having routines that support that goal. The routines, what I love about routines is if you set a goal in the beginning of the year and you automatically put those routines into your daily schedule, you're reaching your goals without even knowing it. You're reaching your goals because you're like, okay, I'm going to do intermittent fasting every day to the end of the year. Well, even though one of your goals is to lose weight, if you do intermittent fasting every day by the end of the year, you're going to lose the weight. If you do keto and intermittent fasting for this amount of time, you know you're going to lose the weight. So now instead of focusing on the weight, if you put those routines in place, that's going to help you reach your goal in a way where it seems effortless. We talked about, if your goal is to enhance your marriage or your goal is to have a better relationship with your spouse, in the back of your handbook, there are resources in there for routines. I'm just going to read a couple real quick. So like Marriage Monday, if one of your goals is to enhance your relationship, hey, say every Monday we're going to do this. Every Monday we're going to go on a date. Every Monday we're going to watch a movie. Every Monday we're going to talk for 30 minutes. And it's small. Yes, you are working on your relationship, but if you put that one routine into place, it's going to work itself. That's one thing that'll work itself out for you. Meatless Monday. Maybe every Monday starting 2025, you decide to be meatless. And that's a good routine because you start thinking of different ways to cook, different ways to explore new things. Money Monday. That's a day where you work on your money, work on your finance goals. Take a break Tuesday. So if you're struggling with your self-care goals, I'm supposed to be reading this in the next session. But if you're struggling, taking care of yourself or taking a break, every Tuesday you're gonna take a break, whether it's 30 minutes, whether it's all day, whether it's a couple hours. Text 10 Tuesday. Working on your relationship goals, texting the people that you care about, texting the people that you forget about, texting people that are out of state. Sometimes we don't talk to those people until there's a funeral or there's a wedding or you're selling something and you're like, oh, who do I, the first thing they tell you is go through your contact list and contact all the people you know. And then the people you know are like, girl, I ain't heard from you in 10 years. So take that Text Tuesday to build those relationships during the year. So it's automatic. So, every Tuesday I get up, I'm going to text 10 people. And then it starts a ripple effect, actually. And then the next week you text 10 new people. And now you got 20 people in your phone that you started communicating with. Water Wednesday. I had started this, which I'm going to drink some right now. I started Water Wednesday those of you who watch my water video, we started a water challenge today, actually. And there's a video that my daughter produced for me, and it's a true video. Was drinking like 10 cups of coffee. I wasn't drinking water. I got dehydrated. And so now I started drinking coffee and having a glass of water so I can remind myself to stay hydrated. But on Water Wednesday, my goal was to not drink anything but water. So that way I remembered, hey, I got to stay hydrated. So you can create this routine with your family and say, hey, every Wednesday it's going to be Water Wednesday in our house. We're only drinking water. No shakes, no coffee, no energy drinks, just water. And it kind of puts you in a mode of, and once you do that a couple of times, it'll get you back into your mode of drinking water. Self-development Saturday. One of the guests on here talked about personal development. And so taking every Saturday for a couple hours to work on your personal development, to work on a plan, to read, to listen to audiobooks. Self-care Saturday, making Saturdays a day to take care of yourself. So you get the idea. You can put together some routines that make sense for you, your business, your personal life, that you can seamlessly integrate into your schedule where it doesn't seem like work. And then it'll be just like brushing your teeth. Hey, I brush my teeth every day. I have self-care Saturday every Saturday. I go do my detox bath. I go to the sauna. So when you put those things in there, I think you'll be more successful. All right. So let's see. Those are the 7 steps. Do I have any more notes? So yes, there is a download for that. So your 7-step worksheet, or you use that in your book. So on your book, it's on page 17 through 22. Right? So if you have your worksheet, you can work on that. And then I am going to work on my next session. So you guys, I am way ahead of the game. You know, my next session should start at 11 o'clock with our health and fitness goals. So either I was talking too fast, but we are going to take a break. I thank you guys for joining me, and then we'll be back. For some reason, I didn't plan on eating during these 12 hours, so I probably should eat. So we'll come back at 11:15 for a health and fitness goals. So for our afternoon session, we're doing health and fitness. That way I kind of stay on track. So 11:15, we have health and fitness. We have 11:45 relationship goals, financial goals, home organization, self-care, and that'll be our afternoon session, and then we'll take a break from there. All right, let me see if there's any questions in the chat. All right, thank you guys. We will be back at 11:15. All right, you guys. So this is the midday session for 11:15. And try to put the companion worksheets up here. Hey guys, I just want to let you know we'll be back in about 11 o'clock. I know it says 11:15, maybe around 11 o'clock to get started on the next session. I wanted to leave up the companion worksheet for you guys to download, and then I'll have the next set of companion worksheets ready for our next session at 11:15. All right?